Hello and welcome to Think Share. My name's Zach. I'm here bringing to what I've been thinking about, sharing about, talking about, listening to, reading about that doesn't belong in math class to make you the goodest version of yourself. The other night I had a really interesting experience, so I thought it would be worth sharing with you all. I did my first field sobriety test, so I was gonna title this video "Why I Love Getting Pulled Over," but that didn't make as much sense. It was just a little too clickbaity for me versus what I was actually going to talk about. So the other night, my wife and I went to a wedding up in Vermont, and we said to ourselves, "Well, we get some work to do on the house for Sunday. So if we were to get a hotel room, we're gonna spend a couple $100 on it, and we probably won't get home till like afternoon because it was a 3-hour drive." So we said, you know what, we'll just be responsible, not drink too much, and we'll get up back on the road by 10ish, and then we'll maybe arrive home between 1 and 2. So we'll have to take some breaks. So we ended up leaving, I think, just a little after 10 from Vermont, up in Pittsfield, and solid hour driving. Stopped for Wendy's. Um, Another hour driving. I think we're in New Hampshire, and at some point we're driving. I'm going the speed limit. I don't have cruise control in my car, which is annoying, but I'm going the speed limit, not swerving, not doing anything bad, and I see the lights of a cop car as we go by, and then I see it pull out from its spot, and I'm like, I wonder what they could possibly be pulling me over for. Because, like, when they pull off, like, when they pull out right after you go by them, and you're the only one on the road that it's obviously for you. So about 15 seconds later, they pull me over. And, one of the things that I think is important as a teacher, who is my goal is to be a role model for my students and for my community, is every once in a while I think of every time that I have an opportunity to be in contact with a police officer, I really want to, one, make a good impression, but look at it as an opportunity to really practice what I preach in terms of being mindful of my emotions, being mindful of, being respectful. And, I think with all the things in the news of traffic stops gone wrong, I know that you know, I'm not in the demographic that a lot of those issues happen, but at the same time, I think it's a good opportunity for me to really lead by example. So as we got pulled over, I'm thinking to myself, what did you even pull me over for? I didn't do anything wrong. But that's not what I say. So he comes up to the side, and he says, "Can I have your license and registration?" So I hand it to him, and he says, "Y'all been drinking tonight?" And he says, "I smell alcohol." And my wife's in the passenger seat, and she drank a little bit more than I did, but nothing like crazy. And well, we're like, "It's her," and, and she giggles, and he says, "All right." And then he takes the registration, goes back to his car, checks out, comes back, still hasn't told us why we got pulled over. He comes back up to me on the driver's side, and he says, Have you been drinking at all tonight, sir?" I said, "Well, I had about three, somewhere between 4 and 6 o'clock, and this is now 1 o'clock. So this is 5. It was starting. Let's see, 8. It started 9 hours ago, ended 7 hours ago, and what one of the things you learn in driving school is that one alcoholic beverage wears off over 1 hour. So, and the legal limit is 0.08 BAC, blood alcohol content. And I mean, I'm confident in myself that I was at either 0.01 or zero point 0.00. So he comes up to me with the flashlight, which is like blinding, and he kind of puts it in my face. He says, "Do you mind if I do a test with you?" I said, "Go ahead." Because I'm confident that I am completely sober. I'm not worried about it. And so he does the line check where you're supposed to keep your head in one spot, and you want to just follow the finger side to side without moving your head. So if anyone is concerned that their nerves, not because they're doing anything wrong, but just because they're nervous in front of a cop, that's one thing you can practice just so that you're not nervous. Now, one of the fun things I had about this was I was just not nervous at all. I knew there was nothing I was doing wrong. I still didn't know why I got pulled over, but most likely it was the end of the month. As many people know, at the end of the month, a lot of police officers, I don't really know the reality behind it, but my understanding is that there's some sort of quota that ought to be filled by police officers. So they tend to do a bit more ticketing at the end of the month for the same reason all of us, um, you know, do a bunch of last minute actions right before a deadline. So they're pulling over people a bit more frequently at the end of the month. If you didn't know that, I guarantee you will now start noticing that. So today was the 30th. I think tomorrow's the 1st. So you probably won't see a spike in people getting pulled over for another month or so, or at least 3 weeks. So he's doing this test on me. He said, "Sir, could you step out of the car?" I'm like, "Sure." And I'm just thinking to myself, is he really gonna make me do a field sobriety test? This is gonna be ridiculous. But at the same time, I'm thinking, I'm gonna freaking crush this thing. Like, like someone that's been drinking is probably getting nervous, but I'm thinking to myself, like, yes, I'm gonna freaking own this. So I step out of the car, and I'm like, damn it, I'm like kind of tired, and it's a little slippery, and I got these dress shoes on, which have no ankle support, and my legs are actually kind of weak just because we'd been dancing for like, it was a wedding. I'm just gonna go ahead and declare myself the MVP of the dance floor that night, besides the bride and groom. But so I get out there, and the first thing he has me do is he does a little bit more of the oh no, wait, before he does that, he asked, "Do you have anything in your pockets?" And he said, "No, no, don't touch your pockets. Just, do you have anything in them?" I said, "I think I have my phone," and I just like wiggled so I could feel something in there. I was like, I have a tie in my back pocket." He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna search you." I was like, "All right, I'm not worried about it." So he searches me. He goes like real tight up against my leg, like all the way up my leg, and it's like, whoa, we're getting pretty friendly here. Okay. Oh, whoa, okay. So that was an interesting experience. I don't know that I've ever been frisked quite on that level. So he frisked me. Obviously, I have nothing on me but a gold tie in my back pocket. It's all folded up because it was on. I took it off halfway through the wedding. So he does that. The next thing he does is he has me do a heel toe walk. So he says, what I want you to do is I want you to take 9 steps in a straight direction. I want you to put down your left foot or right foot, whatever, and then place the next one right behind it. I want you to go 9 steps straight, take a couple steps to rotate 180 degrees, turn around and come right back. So I do that. I was embarrassed a little bit, but I think to myself, I feel like if anyone were being tested, they would be a tiny bit shaky, but I did it. I was probably like just a little bit wobbly, but I didn't misstep a single step. That went fine. And then came back, and this is the one I was pumped about. So I'm thinking to myself, oh boy, he's gonna give me one of those hard ones. I've never done it before, and I've heard that there's some that are hard. So he says, I want you to stand up and balance on one foot with your other leg about 6 inches off the ground, and I want you to point your toe. And he says, count 1 1,000, 2 1,000 until I say stop. And he says, I'm gonna model it for you. So he does it to 10 seconds. And I missed the first part of the direction that he said till I say stop. So I did the same exact thing. As I stood up 6 inches off the ground, pointed my toe, and went for 10 seconds. He said, no, 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 I want you to do it till I say stop. I was like, all right. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, I really hope I can hold it this whole time. Just because I'll be proud of myself, not because I'm concerned about failing this test, like 0% concerned about it. I just wanted to nail it. So he had me do. It was more challenging for me to do, like, when you're saying 1 1,000, 2 1,000. Like once you get to like 23 1000, 24 1000, 25 1000. Like that was more like mentally taxing than the holding of my leg was. But I got all the way to 30 seconds, nailed it. And then he finally said stop. And I'm just thinking to myself, this guy's gonna try to keep wearing me out. He just wants to find some kind of excuse to get me. And I'm like, I'm not gonna give it to him. I'm gonna nail every single test he's got for me. And he gave me, and then he did the visual one more time. And I was like, I'm thinking in my head, like, what's your deal? Like, I already got this. And he said the last one, he said, would you be willing to do a breathalyzer? And I said, sure. He said that it's not admissible in court, which I'm thinking to myself, all right, so you're saying that if you breathalyze me, admissible in court, that means like it can't be held against me in court? I'm like, I'm not worried about it. So this is my first time ever breathalyzing. He asked me if I've ever used one before. I'm like, no. So he breathalyzes me. In the chat real quick, what do you think I got? So I had 3 drinks from about 4 to maybe 6:30, and it's now 1 a.m. For the 4 people that are on right now. I'm curious what you guys think I got. I'll wait another 10 seconds. Looks like no one's gonna take a guess. I blew into it, and you're supposed to blow until the thing like clicks. 0.00, nothing. And I was so excited that I got that, and not even like a 0.01 or something. But I got breathalyzed. It was 0.00, and I didn't think. I thought to myself, I'm kind of curious what Alyssa had, and he actually said, do you want to? He said, do you want to have your girlfriend do it? Like she wouldn't get in trouble, just to find out like where she's at. And we wandered over to the car. I said, honey, do you want to try the breathalyzer? Like you can't get in trouble for it. And I mean, at this point, like he's kind of giving me the impression that nothing bad is gonna happen. So I trust him when he says that. Now I can imagine most people probably wouldn't trust a police officer to breathalyze someone else just for fun with a breathalyzer, but I don't know. I thought it was funny at that point. So she did the same thing. She'd also never used one before. I think she had like a .02 or something, but it was just still funny. So finished off that. I was like, my burning question by now was like, what did I get pulled over for? Like, I want to know. And I still didn't ask him because I just want to be polite. I figured he would get to it eventually. He said, so do you know the reason I pulled you over tonight? I said, no, I do not. And he said, one of your lights was out. And I said, which one? Because I just had them fixed. And he said, your license plate light. So one thing I didn't realize is that on the back of your license, so if this is your license plate, there's 2 little lights, like right there and right there, like going down so that they can read your license plate. This one was out, so I gotta get that fixed. But I don't think I ever even actually realized that there were lights right there. But that was what I got pulled over for, and I have the feeling it was just an excuse to pull over someone that, I mean, people that are driving at 1 o'clock at night, like on a highway, I'm imagining those people are either traveling on some sort of vacation or they've probably been out to some sort of party. So he wasn't wrong in trying to find someone, but he caught us being too damn responsible for our own good, or just the right amount of responsible for our own good. So I figured I'd share that story with you because it was an interesting little life moment. It was kind of fun, and I've shared that story with a couple of people. It's interesting how people react. Some people are thinking to themselves, "Oh, those cops, they'll try to get you," and like I had a couple of people just laughing their faces off. And well, a fun thing. So I challenge you guys out there. See how you would do with a couple of those exercises. The main one I bet most people won't be able to do is standing up balance on one leg, hold your leg hold your foot 6 inches off the ground and point your toe. See how long you can do it for. Now I'm curious how long I could actually hold it for, but he had me do it for 30 seconds and I nailed it. I think that's all for today. So, for those that get bored of my live streams, I am working. I haven't really made the time or effort to finish off the backflip vlog. Tomorrow, I'm buying the iced coffees for my friends that bet against me as I lost the bet, and I look forward to making that vlog soon. However, I am really trying to focus on finishing the demo work downstairs that I talked about a little bit yesterday. I worked on it for another 4 hours today and still not done. We're trying to finish that off so we can get the electrician in here, get the roof done, and get that taken care of. So, yep. I'm probably not going to do I'm going to keep live streaming because, we're at 16 minutes right now, and this is just a more efficient use of my time versus it'll probably take me an hour to do any kind of editing. So for me to keep living my dream and work on my dream towards becoming a professional YouTuber and supplement my and match my teacher income so that I'm in full control over whether I want to work or not. This is how I'm perpetuating it rather than doing the editing. So hope you enjoyed this. If if I've made an impact in your life before, I invite you to share this with someone else that you think would enjoy it. Drop it a like. Thank you for the people that gave me the 3 likes so far. If you want more, hit the subscribe button or share it with someone else. Thank you for watching. Stay weird, humans. Yeet!